So I found this fern at my house. So my wife said it's too big, so I brought it to my classroom. Fred the fern. Woo! Thanks for watching 4.2. Oh no, you're shedding everywhere. Fred, stop shedding. Here we go, 4.2. Wayo. Okay, so let's see here. All right, 4.2. Okay, so 150% as a decimal. I guess that would be like, well, 100% is 1.0. So 1.50, 1.5, 150%. As a fraction, 150, yeah, out of 100. So as a fraction, that would be, yes, that's how we get the 1.5. 1.50, yeah. Here we go. So 0.337 would be out of 1,000. Because it's ones, tens, hundreds, wait, tens, hundreds, thousandths. Yeah, there we go. So that's 33.7%, 0.337. So just some stuff to refresh ourselves on, right, for the ACTs. Good. So we got some good review here to help you. Groups of 3 for number 6. If you notice, they say what section it comes from. So if you want to go back to your book and refresh yourself, you can. How to do these? Yeah. Let me see here. So factoring. Don't forget how to factor. Don't forget how to factor. So factors of 5 are 5x and x. Factors of 6 are 2 and 3. I'm thinking maybe if we put a 2 there, because 2 times 5 is 10, and then put a 3 here, that'll give us 7. So we have a positive 10x with a negative 3x. Yeah, that'll give us positive 7x. Wayo. There we go. Ooh, pull out a 2. So number 9, when you pull out a 2, not an x, but just a 2, you're left with x cubed plus 27, right? So you'd like that to be your final answer. But let me pause for a second. Sorry, I thought I had an emergency phone call there, but we're good. Okay, so we'd like that to be our final answer, but it can actually factor more, right? Because this is called the sum of cubes, very formula based. So sum of cubes. And so how that works is we just plug it into our formula. So what's the formula for the sum of cubes? So it's a plus b times a squared minus a times b plus b squared. And so our a comes from the x cubed. So that factors into x times x times x. Let's do it over here. So x cubed plus 27. So that factors into x times x times x. And then 27 factors into 3 times 9, which factors into 3 times 3 times 3. So wherever you see an A, you're going to plug in an x into your formula. And wherever you see a B in our formula, you're going to plug in, right? You're going to plug in a 3. And so that means here, you're going to plug in a 3 here, and a 3 here, and a 3 here. There we go. So let's plug that in. And so we still have our 2 as a factor. Don't forget the 2. So then let's see here. So we have 2 times, so a plus b is going to be x plus 3, because that's your a plus your b, times x squared minus a. Again, a is x, and b is 3. So times those together. Plus 3 squared. Yeah, 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. Okay, so our final answer then will be 2 times x plus 3 times x squared. We're going to swap that around. So it's a 3x, because you always put the number first and then the variable. So minus 3x and then plus 9. Wayo. So there is our, yeah, there we go. So there's our answer for number 9. That was kind of a tougher one. So these ones are actually not as difficult as you think. They just give you the factor, and they want you to come up with the 0. And so all you do is set them equal to 0, right? So we just add 10, drop the parentheses, and then add 10 to the other side. And then this one we have 2x plus 5 equals 0. So we just minus 5 to the other side. So we got 2x equals negative 5. How do we get that 2? Do you remember? How do we get that 2 to the other side? Well, right now, pause me. I forgot to say that so far. Pause me, try it on your own first. We're going to learn this if you try yourself, then watch my videos and see how you did. So if we, if we divide, yeah, because what's the opposite of multiply? Divide. So divide by 2, divide by 2. So we get x equals negative 5 halves. Way-o. So put that into Canvas as a fraction, not a decimal. And then these ones over here, number 12 and 13, they want you to practice putting it, reverse engineering it, remember? And putting it back into factored form, okay? And so we do that by adding 7 to both sides. So we get x plus 7. That's it. That's how easy it is. Because minus 7 plus 7. Let's see here. Let me go back. So we add 7 to the other side. We get x plus 7 is equal to 0. And so we want to write the factor. So remember we set it equal to 0, solve for x, but we're reverse engineering it. So before we got to that point, it was in parentheses, remember? So then we have x plus 7 in parentheses. And that's just our answer. So that's star answer. Good. So try, oh, this one's a little tricky. So we're going to minus 3/5, right? Okay, so maybe not. The reason why is we want no fractions. So why don't we go ahead and, what do you think? Multiply the 5 to the other side first. Get the 5 over first. So we'll go to multiply 5 over to this side like that. So multiply 5 over to this side. So we get 5x is equal to 3. Remember, reverse engineering it back. So how do we get the 3 over now? So now we'll go ahead and we'll go to minus that 3 over to this side. So we get 5x minus 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Good. So now we just put parentheses around it, and we're back to factored form. So then we get 5x minus 3, and just put it in parentheses is our answer. And that's it. Just put it in parentheses. Okay, here we go. Long division. Right? Robber X is trying to break into the house. Whoa. Remember we were talking about that Halloween story in class? Right? So we'll start you off there on number 14, then we'll jump to 15. So how does x become an x cubed? X times something is x cubed, right? And so let's see, x times x is x squared. What about x times x squared? That'd be x cubed. Yeah, that's it. So x times x squared, right? Let's try it. So x times x squared. If you weren't sure, you can just take x cubed and divide it by x. And that would actually give you the first part of our answer. And that's the multiplier. So x times x cubed, or x times x squared, right, is x cubed. Good. We wanted those to match up. Scan, scan, scan. Welcome back to your home. What? So x times x squared is x cubed. Good. Then the dog, woof, woof. So negative 1 times x squared is negative 1x squared. Good. And then we want to change the signs. So we change those signs. There we go. Change the signs. So that goes away. And then we have a positive 1x squared with a negative 6. And so that's negative 5x squared. Remember? And then what do we do next? Do you remember? Pause me. What do we do next? So then we bring down the plus 12x, and then it starts all over again. Starts all over again. how does x become a negative 5x squared, right? What do we multiply it by? And that goes up here. Okay, so we're actually helping you on the odds, not the evens. So we'll jump over to here next. So here we go. So we have x plus 3 into x to the 4th power plus 8x to the 3rd power plus 22x squared. So we actually, I don't know if I said this in class, but we need to check and make sure that we have 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Because if you're missing 3, 2, 1, 0. So if you're missing any x terms, you actually have to put a placeholder in, else it's not going to work right. And it'll mess up. So definitely make sure we get that good. Okay, so here we go. So x times something is x to the 4th power. X times what? Well, if we have to add the powers, right, there's 4, take away that 1 that we're trying to multiply through, we get 3. So x to the 3rd power is the first part of our answer. So x times x to the 3rd power is x to the 4th power. Then 3 times x to the 3rd power is 3x to the 3rd power. Good. Ring, ring. Change the signs. So make sure you change the signs. You remember the Halloweenster. So change the signs. There we go. So then when we do that, those cancel out. And then 8x cubed, there's 8 of them. Take away 3 of them. We still have 5 x cubes left. Because remember that x cubed just comes along for the ride. So just 8 minus 3 is 5. X cubed comes along for the ride. So we bring down our 22x squared. Good. So now how does x become a 5x cubed? So we go x times, so x times something gives us the 5x cubed. Now if you're not sure, you could actually take the 5x cubed, right? Divide x to the other side to get that answer. And so when you do that, you end up with just 5x squared. Because x cubed, 3 of them on the top, take away 1 on the bottom is x squared. And so that right there is going to be our next answer. So that's going to be the next part of our answer. So then we have plus 5x squared, good. So then, so x times 5x squared is 5x cubed. We wanted those to match up. And then 3 times 5x squared is 15. 3 times 5 is 15, x squared. And then we... Huh? Yeah, change the signs. So then we change the signs. Change the signs. And so then when we do that, the x cubes go away. 5x cubed minus 5x cubed minus 5x cubed is 0. X cubed. And 0 times anything is just 0. It's just 0. Okay, so 22 minus 15, is that 7? 7x squared. So then we bring down our 24x, good. Okay, we only got to do it 2 more times. Hang in there. Is there enough room on your paper? So we only have to do it 2 more times, right? That's why there's so much room on your paper. Hopefully. Okay, good. So then how does x become an x squared? How does this, stop doing that. Sorry, talking to the board. Okay, so how does, stop doing that. Okay, it missed me, so now it's mad at me. It's okay, I'm back. Be nice to me. So how does x times something give us 7x squared is the question. So x times a positive 7, that's only 7x, so we need an x in there. So x times 7x is 7x squared. Wee-oo. Okay, so then we also have to multiply the 3 through. So 3 times 7 is 21x. Change the signs. So then we change those signs and we get 0. 24 minus 21 is 24 minus 1, 21. 24 minus 21 is 3x. Good. And now we bring down our last one. Okay, how does x become a 3x? How does x become a 3x? So x times what is 3x? So just a 3, right? Just a 3. So x times 3 is 3x. And 3 times 3 is 9. Change the signs. Yeah, we got a remainder of 0. Woo! So that means there's no remainder. There's no remainder. And we get our big long answer. And we might have to factor it more. Let me see. So use long division to determine each quotient. Do not find the zeros, just the quotient. Okay, so for number 15, we're just looking for the answer. It's the next page that we're going to take it one step further and factor it more. So that's just our answer. That's just our answer for number 15. So again, our final answer is x cubed plus 5x squared plus 7x plus 3. Wayo. So that's our quotient, right? That's our quotient, which is the same as our answer. Same as our answer. Good. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Okay, so next page. So given the factor, find the factored form and the zeros. Whoa. So they want you to factor it more, right? They want you to factor it more. Number 17 is actually missing some terms. What is it missing? So it's missing an x to the third power. It's also missing an x to the first power. So when you do this problem, x minus 2, when you do this problem, you have to actually put those placeholders in there. So we have x to the fourth power plus 0x to the third power minus 3x squared plus 0x to the first power and then minus 4. So now we're set up. To do long division, but we do need placeholders if it's missing any powers, okay? So how does x become x to the fourth power? We get x to the third power. And so x times x to the third power is x to the fourth. Negative 2 times x cubed is a negative 2x cubed. Change the signs. So then that goes away, and we're left with 2x cubed. Bring down 3x squared. How does x become a 2x cubed? Well, we need a plus 2x cubed. We need a squared. So x times 2x squared is 2x cubed. Good. Then negative 2 times 2x squared is a negative 4x squared. Change the signs. So then we change those signs. That goes away. 4x squared minus 3x squared is a 1x squared. Good. And then we bring down our placeholder. If you didn't bring out your placeholder, you would see that you can't combine the negative 4 with the next thing. So that's why we need a placeholder. How does x become an x squared? So we simply times it by an x, a 1x. So x times x is x squared. Good. And then negative 2 times x is a negative 2x. And then we change the signs. So that goes away. We have a 2x plus 0. 2x plus 0 is just 2x. Pause me. Try the next one on your own. So then we bring down the negative 4. And last but not least, how does x become a 2x? We multiply it by a 2. And 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times negative 2 is a negative 4. There's our negative 4, you guys. And then we change the signs. So then we change the signs there. So change the signs and we get 0. So that's great. We found our quotient. We found our answer. But they want us now to also find the zeros, right? And the factors. So we actually have to take our answer now, and we're going to have to do more. That's evil. That's so evil. We're going to have to do more with it. So let's go and finish up the problem here. So now we bring that answer down. So we have x cubed plus 2x squared plus x plus 2. Split it in half. So we're going to pull out an x squared like that, pull out an x squared. And so when you pull out an x squared, what are we left with? You're left with x plus 2. And then this, really, you can't pull anything out of the x plus 2 over here, but technically you can and you need to. It's just a 1 they have in common. So we'll pull out a 1, pull out a 1. So when you pull out a 1, you're left with x plus 2. And there's our factor, there's our factor. So our factor is x plus 2. And then whatever's left is the other factor. And so what's left is the x squared plus 1, right? So then they want you to find, that's the factored form, and they want you to find the zeros. Find the zeros. So this is our first part of our answer. First answer on Canvas, that's our first answer, is the factored form. But then they want you to set each of those equal to 0. Oh man, longest problem ever. So we go ahead and minus 2 to the other side, so we get -2. That's one of our answers. And then you have to take the x squared plus 1. And that doesn't factor more, but you can't set it equal to 0, -1 to both sides. So you get an x squared equals -1. You square root both sides. And so you get x equals plus or minus. What's the square root of -1? It's just an I. So we're going to x equals a positive I. And we have x equals a negative I. Whoa! So there's 3 answers. So that's the second part. So the second part is our zeros, right? Set them each equal to 0 and solve for x. So that's the first part of our answer. And then this is the second part of our answer. -2, positive I, negative I. Woo! Thanks for watching. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Say goodbye to Fred the Fern. Bye, Fred the Fern.